has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Welcome everyone to Darkest Dungeon. As you have seen in the intro, we are tasked with reclaiming our birthright. I have done a little bit just so I can learn the basics, and right now we're gonna start. Darkest Crypt is gonna be our dungeon. So let's ascend.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Darkest Dungeon. This is sort of a role-playing game where we shall have 4 heroes in a party usually, move through a dungeon, basically, and we shall uncover many secrets, many artifacts, many people will die. I'm expecting a lot of losses. Game's not easy. Not at all, it's making the most of a bad situation. And right now we're gonna be on the old road, which is our intro and tutorial level. So, the map navigation is in the bottom right. This is where our map is. So we're in this room, there's a corridor, and then there's another room. So we can have only 2 heroes, which are Reynard the Crusader and Dismas the Highwayman. They all have different abilities, different armor and weapons, and also different characteristics, as well as having different quirks. For instance, Reynard here is a warrior of light. So he does more damage if our torch up here is above a certain amount. But he's also God-fearing, so he will only pray for stress relief. And he's a kleptomaniac, so he might steal something that we find, which is annoying. While Dismas here has stun resistance, he has a hard head, and has quick reflexes, so he's quick on the draw. He is mostly a ranged character, although he has a close weapon. He's also a known cheat, so he cannot gamble in town. On the bottom right, we can see they have different resistances. So there's stun, which of course, as you might know, makes us skip a turn. There's blight, which is kind of a dot damage as well as bleed. Disease is we can get a disease that'll cripple us usually, like less HP, less dodge, less protection, less speed, etc. Then we have move resistance, which is if he gets pushed by a very strong hit that will knock him back, he has a chance to resist that movement. He also has a debuff chance to resist, and also trap resistance, so he can ignore traps basically. And finally we have death blow resistance. This is the key aspect of the game. If your hero drops to 0 HP, which often will happen, he'll be at death's door. So each subsequent tick of damage, any kind of damage, will roll to see if he dies. He has a 67% chance to not die. But as you can see, if there's a lot of different damage options and a lot of different hits hitting him, he might just die on the first one, he might die on the 10th one, who knows. He also gets penalties to all of his stats usually, like damage, speed, and everything if he's at death's door, and we want to keep them out of death's door for the most of the time. Now, we shall start exploring.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
Yes, as you can see, we move usually by D for forward and A to move back. We can click ahead if we want to, and basically it's just corridors with random encounters, like this one.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion.
Okay, so we
that all may
surprised
hear
him.
of your arrival.
So since we surprised him, he loses his turn. So once we use our actions, which are displayed by this little thingy here, he will not have a turn. So Dismas here has two options to hit him. If you look at the abilities, they show that he can hit the first 3 with his Grave Shot ability, and he can hit the first 2 with his Open Veins ability. Now, because he's in the first row, he can only hit him with either of these 2 and cannot use the other ones. So let's hit him. Okay, so he's bleeding, that's good. And let's have him finish him off. We have a 83% chance to hit. It's displayed in the bottom right, right over there where the map is. So there's our crit and our damage that we'll do to him. So let's see if we hit. Okay, and first enemy is dead.
A faint hope blossoms.
So let's keep exploring. We'll also encounter random curios, objects that we can interact with. In this case, that's a tent. So we're gonna have Dismas check it, because he's not a kleptomaniac. And we
Leave
got
nothing unchecked.
pretty good.
There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Some pretty good items.
An ambush.
Okay.
Send these
2 more.
vermin a message. The
So-
rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no
Now we can
longer
use all our
welcome.
abilities, and as you see, Open Veins hits the first 2. However, this person here takes up 2 spots, so he technically counts as only being able to hit him instead of hitting the guy behind. However, this one has range ability, so you motherfucker. Well, he just dodged it, which is annoying. Takes some chip damage. Let's try and stun him. His resistance is 50%, but I think we can do it. Nice. So he'll lose his turn. And since we already stunned him successfully, now he has a stun resistance, so he can't keep chain stunning him. Let's do this then. Nice shot, Dismas. Nice dodge, Dismas. Ow. The fuck? Oh, he knocked him back. What the hell? Gets -1 speed. Raynar's getting hit pretty hard. This must make him bleed. Nice. Bleed does damage per round. Well, now you're bleeding. Great. Let's try and finish this guy off. He has how much? He has 9 health left. Desmond, can you finish him off?
Prodigious size alone does
Yes, he
not
can.
dissuade the sharpened blade.
As you can see, our characters can crit if they're lucky, and it's usually really strong.
Their
Like that.
formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Okay, now we've completed the quest, so now we can return home by clicking return to Hamlet, or we can continue adventuring. In this case, I will. Now, as you can see, this is a bandit's trap chest, but we just got a key, and I'm wondering if I can use it to open this. Yes, I could. And we got an occultist staff, which can be dropped down here in the extra equipment slot, and some protection stone, which is pretty decent. Let's equip it here. Now, we don't have an occultist, which is a class, so we will just leave. So here we are, we just finished the old road. We don't get any heirlooms, which is our upgrade currency for town. And we got some experience as well as this. Now this is where we pick if we want our character to roll on a new random quirk. It can be both good or bad, so it's kind of a luck thing. So now let's see if we get a good one. Yes, we do. So Reynard has cheaper weapon upgrades, which is pretty good. So 20% cheaper weapon upgrade cost.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Yes, yes we are. Now, this is the activity log. On the left we see what has been done. So currently Ren and Desmond has successfully escorted us to the hamlet. They're both also now apprentices, so they're level 1. Our goals are, as the caretaker, to successfully complete our first foray into the ruins, to defeat a lot of different bosses. I'm just gonna quickly scroll down. There's a lot of shit to do when it comes to bosses. Then we have roster goals, which is to raise our characters up to level 6, which is quite hard and challenging. Now this, I don't need help anymore. This is our hamlet. So this is our main city station. Over there in the distance you can see our estate, our darkest dungeon, so to speak. And for now we have a few options. So most of these things are closed off. Sure, the blacksmith, the guild, which we can upgrade our abilities, blacksmith of course for weapons and armor. The abbey and the tavern are for stress relief. If you can see on this one here, he has this little black box with a white thing. It shows his stress, so he currently has free stress of 200. So once you hit 100 stress, your hero gets affliction, which he can be either heroic, so he'll be very good at his job, or he'll be negative, which means that he'll maybe be masochistic, so he'll enjoy pain, which will stress out everyone else, or he'll skip his turns because he's a fucking prick, and so on. So we want them to be without stress usually when they head out. Now we have a few things to visit. Let's first visit our ancestors' memories.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Yes, in time we will. So this basically shows us what happened everywhere, and once we beat certain things we'll get a cutscene. And basically this is where we can watch cutscenes again. So next up we have the graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
That's pretty self-explanatory. So once someone dies, they go here and we can check on them. And finally we have the stagecoach.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses.
Yes.
All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
So this is where we can get new heroes usually. So we can have up to 9 currently. I'm gonna grab
What
both
better
these.
laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Now over here we have our upgrade station where we can upgrade the stagecoach, and we can upgrade anything in our hamlet usually. and it costs different resources. For instance, this one costs deeds and crests, I think. So down here next to our gold we see deeds, crests, portraits, and busts, and we use them to upgrade. Right now I'm gonna upgrade this, and I'm gonna upgrade how much people
Word
we
is
can
traveling.
have.
Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this.
Yes. So once we come back, we'll have a new option of people, which I'll gladly accept. So this is our basic intro, just to get bearings. This is our trinket shop. As you saw, we just equipped Reynard here with a trinket that gives him some protection. It's 5% protection. It's not gonna do that much, but it's decent enough. He only has 1 speed anyway, so he's usually very slow, so that's not gonna matter. Now let's see our new guys. So we have Alberlin, who has last gasp, so he has 1 speed extra when he's below 50% of his health. So on the negative side, he has 20% stress damage in the Cove, which is an area of the map, and he has 20 stress damage against humans. So we want to probably not bring it to those 2 locations. And we have this girl, who is Wheeled Adventure, so she takes less stress damage in the Wheeled. She also a Cove Explorer, so she has a better chance at scouting in the Cove. She also will only visit the brothel for stress relief. So she will only go into the tavern and have sex for stress relief, which is interesting for a cleric type person. And let's go see our dungeon.
A
So
mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
yes, it does. So this is our main map. So where we pick where we can go. So we have 4 main areas: the ruins, the warrens, the Weald, the Cove, and the 5th special area is the Darkest Dungeon. So we can go there immediately if we want to, and the rewards are great, but it's suggested we're level 6, so I'm just gonna say no to that, and we're gonna go to the basic one. So we're gonna take our main roster. Let's see who's good where. So over here in the preferred position shows us what he's best at, where he can use all of his skills at. So it's in the 2nd or 3rd position. You excel at both back positions. You are kind of mediocre, so you get into 3rd, you get into there, and you get there. So this is our squad. I shall probably be renaming them once we actually set out. I'm just gonna show you the provision screen.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
So the provision screen here lets us buy supplies for our journey. So we get some random things at the very start, and everything costs, as you can see. So we usually want to bring at least some food. So let's like say maybe 10 food I think is enough. So they can be used to heal just a little bit, like 2 HP per food, or 1 depending on your hero. Shovel, I'll bring 1. I'll bring 1 skeleton key, and I'll bring like 6 torches. I think that should be enough. So let's embark.